even want to say that, but I'm going to say it because we keep it real. Sometimes I got to leave the church early.
Yeah.
I got to leave the people I got to leave them.
Yeah.
Because it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. It's time. And I love y'all. And believe me, I love the Lord. But I'm not going to subject myself to an all-day affair if I didn't plan for that. And I think when we talked about having a plan back when we were talking about health as wealth,
yes,
I resonate with that because planning has saved me a bunch of times. Just out of an abundance, you're sitting here like, wait a minute, I got this going on, that going on, blah, blah, blah. Having a calendar, and I'm sitting up here considering buying myself an entire binder for 2 years to plan my life. That's how important time is to me because there's two things you can't get back.
Your time.
Time.
Your time. Once it's gone, it's gone. That day is gone.
It back. And I think that's why a lot of people have started saying time is money. But I feel like you can get money back. You just can't get that time back.
That's true. That's very true.
Welcome back to Beautiful in This Time podcast. I'm Chelsea Lyles and I'm sitting with
Britnie Thompson.
And this is a space where we talk about financial literacy, career growth, and making clear life decisions simplified. With that said, be sure to tap in with your girls on our Instagram and our Facebook at Beautiful in This Time podcast. And you can find us easily by typing that in, just as I said it. You can also send us an email if you have any questions or suggestions for the show at timedbeautifully@gmail.com. Again, that's timed, TIMED, beautifully, BEAUTIFULLY @gmail.com. With that said, let's get into today's show.
Let's do it. Today we are going to be talking about time, and so we are going to be mindful of yours in this episode.
Are we really going to be mindful of the people time, or are we just saying that?
I think sometimes that's a great saying.
Yeah, we you say that to be polite, right?
That's true.
I'm going to be mindful of the time. I'm going to be mindful. But are you really going to be mindful of the people time? You know how the preacher get up there and be up there. I'm going to take my time. And somebody's always a witness in the audience talking about preach. Mm-mm.
Or when they say they're going to be, not going to be all day, that means they're going to be all day.
That's right. And we go ahead and just let you be. Because baby, I got to go. I got some places to be. People got to see me and I got to see them and I like to be seen.
That's true.
That's right.
And there's a common saying out there. Everyone has what, Chelsea? 24 hours in a day.
Oh, we all got the same 24 hours now, do we?
Yeah. That is a good question. Do we really?
Do we really have the same
24 hours? Mm. And the reason why we bring that up is because let's look at an average day for the average person here, right?
Sure.
So we get up in the morning. Most businesses or most jobs start at what? 9 o'clock. 9. Yeah, around that time.
And if you were 5, what is those people? Those early bird people.
That's true. Like my
collar,
dad has to go into work
jobs.
And he has to be there at like 4 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah, like those blue collar jobs, they have to be up there before the sun come up every night.
That's true.
Day. Night.
That's true.
Day and night.
And let's talk about the most important thing on a daily basis for all of us, no matter what time you have to be on your job. Sleep, right? And what does the average person have to get according to the doctor?
They say 8 hours.
8 hours. So when you talk about 24 hours in a day, you have to get 8 hours of sleep. Now you're left with what? 16? And then most jobs work, between 8 to 12 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
So if you get 8 to 12 hours and you've been asleep for 8, now you're at 16 hours for the day, right? And so 16 minus 24 is...
No, 16
Or 24 minus 16. Wait, let's not go backwards. 24 minus 16 is 8 hours, right? So what are we doing with those 8 hours? Well, one of those hours is getting ready for the job that you have to go on.
Thank you. You better tell the truth. Tell the truth. Getting them kids together for school.
Yep.
Running in traffic.
Yep.
All of that. And that's actually really 2 hours because if you getting up and going, I will hope you getting off and going home.
The drive time to work.
Okay. And then if you're lucky, if you get home,
So
You
8
may
minus
have
2?
8 minus 2 will leave you at 6.
Okay, we're leaving you
Okay,
at 6.
so let's just say from 6 to 12 midnight, right?
Right.
You have left to do things. The
That's very
average
true.
person is going to bed before 12 midnight, unless you're a night owl. Sometimes I get ambitious and I get funny and I'm up.
That's true.
You do too.
But then we have plans for the next day where we're like, okay,
I need to
I'll
get into
do
bed.
this and skip that
Yeah.
because I'm doing this.
Yes.
And that's what we're really talking about is what are you doing with that 6 hours before you go to bed at midnight?
Correct.
Or even if you have to go to bed at 10 and you have those 4 hours, we could be strategic with that time, right? In between 4 to 6 hours, we could be strategic.
Absolutely.
How are we being strategic with that time?
Well, that's the thing. I think that's a personal question because if you are a person who's trying to maybe build something outside of your 9 to 5, a lot of people say, well, I built my business on a 5 to 9 schedule after my 9 to 5. And it's like, well, I mean, that's fun to say, but are you really clocking out and getting straight to work? Most times you're not.
That's true.
You're just not. I mean, unless you work from home, maybe, unless your job entails you literally moving from building A to going to your car and boom, you're on the grind. Sure. But like maybe if you do gig work, fine. I mean, but gig work is somebody else's empire, not your own empire.
That's very true.
I mean, it can help fund your empire, right?
That's true.
But you have to be mindful of what are you doing. So are you being productive? I know sometimes when I get off of work, all I need is a bed and a fan, and I'm no good until tomorrow.
Let's just face it, depending on the type of work that you do, whether you own a company that makes you, because they call it like white collar and blue collar. Blue collar, typically you're working with your hands. White collar, you're typically working with your mind.
Right.
So sometimes we call it decompressing.
That's it.
Right. But I like what she said. It's a personal, right? Some of us aren't building companies. Some of us are just happy with what we do on the 9 to 5 when we come home and we want to decompress, right?
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with that. We're not saying that here. Mm-hmm. We're just basically saying that we use that term on people who are trying to accomplish something on a daily basis and they have very little time to accomplish it. And then you feel stressed. You feel anxiety ridden because you get compared to people who say, well, I worked 3 jobs and that's how I got here, or I had no sleep. Well, some of us have conditions where we actually can't sleep. Have to get rest.
And some people they can't sleep.
That's
the
true.
opposite.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tap into this saying because we hear it all the time. What do you think about the money never sleeps or time is money sayings? Because I feel like since this is a podcast structured around building financial literacy and helping navigate folks make those big career moves, making your clear life decisions, right? And life decisions include money, whether you want to believe it or not. So I want to know, what is your thought process on that? When people say that time is money is time, and they're always on the grind, on the move. They can't sit still, maybe. But
I think sometimes, and we see this a lot in our society today, especially because all of us are on social media watching people's lives, or we think we're watching people's lives. Mm-hmm. I think when you say time is money, it's not that you're always making money in that time. It's you're maybe doing something strategically to make money in the time in your future, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, and then there's times where you think that time is money, but you're not really doing anything purposeful that goes towards the purpose of making money. You're just busy, and you just keep telling people you're busy. That's and you have no plan, and you're everywhere.
Yes, I was going to say, is it an excuse?
Yes.
Because I just love to say now, I don't say like the whole time is money thing, but even I tell you, I'm like, B, I'm busy. I'm just busy. And I leave it at that unless I want to go into detail, which I am a busy person. You are a busy person. But what I cannot stand is when people don't respect my time. So sometimes I will say I'm guilty of it. If I already know you want some bull job, I'm going to just go ahead and exit stage left. I'm not even going to incorporate myself in that. It's sometimes I don't even want to say that, but I'm going to say it because we keep it real. Sometimes I got to leave the church early.
Yeah.
I got to leave the people I got to leave them.
Yeah.
Because it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. It's time. And I love y'all. And believe me, I love the Lord. But I'm not going to subject myself to an all-day affair if I didn't plan for that. And I think when we talked about having a plan back when we were talking about health as wealth,
Yes.
I resonate with that because planning has saved me a bunch of times. Just out of an abundance, you're sitting here like, wait a minute, I got this going on, that going on, blah, blah, blah. Having a calendar, and I'm sitting up here considering buying myself an entire binder for 2 years to plan my life. That's how important time is to me because there's two things you can't get back.
Your time.
Your
time. Once it's gone, it's gone. That day
you can't get
gone.
it back. And I think that's why a lot of people have started saying time is money. But I feel like you can get money back. You just can't get that time back.
That's true. That's very true. I asked Chelsea this on Health is Wealth podcast. I was asking her about like, why do people seem to just show up on their job on time most of the time? That's a different story. But anyway, most people will show up on their job on time and they will work those hours. But then when it comes to showing up for their life, they don't plan that part normally. Right. And then it's those people who say, I'm busy. But there's no fruit on the tree, just busy.
Yes, you're not doing anything. Have you seen people who have been in the startup season for over a decade?
I have.
And I'm telling you, it's not a pretty picture because it's like, cut your losses at this point. I've had businesses that have failed. And baby, it didn't take me 10 years to figure out this ain't going to work.
Yes.
It's not going to work. Let's scrap it.
That's true.
You know, and it's not because I didn't believe in that. It just wasn't my season for that. And if you don't understand signs and wonders, you need to start believing them. Because a lot of times we miss the mark and waste a lot of time trying to create our own things going on when it's not even in the cards for you ever to happen. A lot of times that we don't evaluate early enough.
That's true.
You know, we wait a decade, we wait 2 decades, and it's like, wait a minute now. At this point, you didn't let all this time pass you by. And even folks who have ample opportunities, right? Who maybe live with their parents and their parents set a guideline for them. Hey, I'm going to give you 2 years, 3 years to live rent free. And with that, I only require that you start to do something with your life. And you blink and 3 years then went by and you're still in the same predicament you were when they had that conversation with you.
That's true.
Now, whose fault is that? That's your fault. Because you had the time.
That's true.
But were you a good steward of that time?
No.
A lot of times, even as something to be as disciplined being on top of time management takes discipline, because you understand how difficult it is to maybe want to wake up an hour later so you can get your sleep, but you wake up, you sacrifice to go to the gym like you were talking about.
I wanted to this morning. I was kept pressing that alarm clock, snooze. And I was like, get on up out this bed.
And it's easy to say snooze, and it's easy to go home and say, I'm clocked out, I'm decompressing, I need to watch my show, honey. I'm drinking my glass of wine, I got my water, I got my food, I'm going to dinner.
Especially now that Netflix exists and you got all 10 seasons, honey, be rushed a full season in 4 hours.
Look, and this thing that put me on Desperate Housewives, and here I am watching it from season 1. I'm like, wow, this what I've been missing? Cool. Like, I mean, at this point, you have to be accountable for that time. And I feel like it's no one's fault but yourselves, especially if you are a full able-bodied adult. You're not depending on anybody to wash your face, wipe your tail, brush your teeth. It's all you. You are full able. The other folk, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the full able people who are in their right minds and all the things. You have to be accountable for your time. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what do you want the people to say about you?
That's true.
You know what I mean? I think about that. You know, with everyone, I don't mean to get all deep or nothing, but with people thinking they have so much time, and understandably, time is not on our side ever.
No.
You ever felt like you're going to an event and oh my God, everybody's anxious because the time just tick, 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 passing by. But we had time to prepare for this before, but we didn't. We didn't. I even get like that, right?
Yeah.
And then even with people now, they dropping like flies. People dying like never before.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to think that you thought you had tomorrow, and now you ain't got nobody. You ain't got no more days. You sleep.
There was a quote that you said to me that I loved, and maybe it wasn't a quote, but maybe it's just the quote of Chelsea. But she has a lot of them. But there was there was something that really just hit home with me. One day we were having a conversation, and she says, Britnie, she said, I'm not so arrogant to think that I have another day. Like, especially as our background being Christian women, we're basically telling God on a daily basis that we know we're going to wake up tomorrow.
That's right.
By putting something off tomorrow or not doing something that he graciously gave us the time to do that day.
Right.
Or that season.
Thank you. And if you don't take anything from today, please hone in on this point. Procrastination is just the act of believing you have tomorrow to do it. And if you are that arrogant to think you have tomorrow to do it, God is funny. Number one, life is funny. You know how many times people have said, even this week, I know that people, my own personal life was affected by death. And you're trying to justify to me why you couldn't have made things make sense. But now a lot of the family is spending their time having to have conversations that you would have thought would have been had already, especially being the predicament this person was in. But they weren't being done. Now we have people running around trying to be greedy. Imagine. But to think that everybody thought time was on our side.
That's true. That's true.
Time
well, we
is
see
not
that a
on
lot,
anyone's
don't
side.
we? I mean, in our current job, we see that a lot where people assume that they're going to live forever.
And
so they
actually
don't
pretty
protect
sad.
their loved ones.
Yeah, and they don't protect their assets. And I love the fact that as we get deeper in this podcast, we're going to peel those layers. But just taking a few moments of your time to add a beneficiary, a designee, write out something, directions, passwords, socials, where I can find this information. 1 second of your time can save somebody months of probate headache.
Yes. Use your time wisely. Have a sound mind when it comes to your time.
That's it.
I have a question for you, Chelsea, that I see a lot. Mm-hmm. I'd like your perspective on this. So when it comes to time, we see people that, they may not own a home yet, right? Mm. Or, and that's okay if you don't want to own a home. We're not saying everyone has to own a home. We're not saying everyone has to go to college to be successful. We don't give in to things like that here. Yeah. Because every person, every situation is different. But my thing is that, sometimes we see where people cry about not owning a home or wanting to be better financially, but they'll say, you won't ever get this time back. Travel while you can. And it's like, well, but then you might pay for that later if you don't strategically plan. And I'm not saying don't go on vacation, but there's what we always say here, there's a time and a place for that. That's right. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts to folks thinking they don't have time on their side?
Folks that say, instead of using my time wisely to budget in the vacation, I'm just using an excuse to be free. So like a YOLO, spend money.
Like a YOLO perspective.
Yes.
I mean, my response to those people are always going to be this. Yeah, YOLO for today, but what about tomorrow?
I love that question. That's a good question.
Let's think about that. Yes. I mean, why are you just blaming your carelessness on the YOLO of it all, but then want to just forego the fact that you may have kids, you may have responsibilities, and you're not even thinking about that tomorrow or their tomorrow? I think once you stop thinking about yourself selfishly, you won't think about the fact that you have to do things in the moment so much when it comes to things that absolutely are not pressing. Because let's be honest, vacations are not pressing things. I
No,
mean,
they're
these are
not.
leisure things. Now, what I say, spending time with your family. How are we spending time with our family? That doesn't matter. How I can spend time with my family in the living room, but vacationing with my family, whole nother ballgame. Because honey, that billfold is expensive, and if you do it wrong, it can really hurt you, cost you in the tomorrow ness of it all. The tomorrowness of
I
it all.
guess I can give you a prime example of my husband and I were taking a financial literacy course a few years back. And the one thing that we decided on is that we would never go on another vacation until we were out of debt. And so we focused on the course. We paid our we basically got out of debt, paid off everything, and let's say 3 years later we had an opportunity to go on a big vacation. We were able to go to Dubai, and it was a large vacation, but we had enough to pay for the whole vacation in cash, and so have money come back to take care of some car issues that we had later. That's what I mean, plan strategically.
Well, that does go back to what our whole goal here is. Again, because we're not ever going to say something to put you in a financial bind anyway. We're all about growing over here, because the whole point of beautiful in its time podcast is just that. Everything is going to be beautiful in God's timing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That was the basis of this name.
I think that falls in with, do you really have 24 hours in a day? In those 4 hours, what are you doing to make the most out of life, basically, is what we're saying. Or that 4 to 6 hours. Because, and what we're asking you to do is really just not buy into the hype of comparing yourself with people. Oh, that person worked 3 jobs, so it doesn't mean I have to work 3 jobs. Or do I have to work 2 jobs? Or, that person owns a company. Now I have to feel like I need to own a company within this 4 to 6 hours. Like we said, some of you are in great careers. And that's wonderful. And you do go home to decompress. That's fine. You earn your right to do so. But just don't, I think as an individual, we got to stop comparing ourselves. That's because right. Of those who we do have to work a job, but we have a purpose that God has given us, and it can be stressful or straining, and we start comparing ourselves, especially in social media these days. We talked about comparison, and we don't really see the behind the scenes.
No.
And that's what I was getting at, because as a person, I'm thinking, man, that person accomplished so much, or that person can do 5 million things and accomplish so much in one night. And here I'm struggling to read for 10 minutes, kind of thing.
But you don't know the cost of that. And I and that's why I don't compare anything. I've had to learn that from my parents. They've told us all the time, comparison is a thief of all joy, until I understood the source of that. And it was in the Word of God. Hello, somebody. But when you're up here comparing relationships, even, you don't know the cost of those folks. Like, you just don't know. It's a saying, a song, I believe. You don't know the cost of the oil. And it's talking about how we don't know the cost of the oil.
True.
At all. And I think that when it comes down to trying to compare like relationship goals and financial goals and this and that, boss chick and this and that, you don't understand the cost that goes with that. You don't know how many sleepless nights they could have had, how many times they've gone without eating. You don't know at all. And I'm just talking in a sense of starting a business, or even if you're talking about a family, people, oh, well, I want this and I want that. And even people come up to parents. I'm a parent. People come up, oh, well, when are you guys having this and having that? And what are we talking about here? We're not having nothing else.
That's true.
But it's just, I don't have enough, time, number one. But the ultimate thing is, we want to get back to, what is it that you are doing? What are you building? What are you growing towards? What are you developing in this 24 hours? Do we really have 24 hours? Are we taking advantage of the time that we have? Are we being good stewards of our time?
I love that.
And a lot of times we can take for granted the time. I do it.
I find myself saying I'm decompressing for an hour, and I done watched three episodes or something. And
Well,
now it's
people
8:00
say
and I
movies.
don't feel like
Right. Y'all better keep us
getting
in
to
prayer.
it.
Keep us in prayer. Because I say, and I love talking, but I said, Lord, if I could just be talking on my sofa, that'll be my dream.
That would be my dream.
Just to be sitting up here yip yapping.
But we even there's this word that I love, or this phrase that I love, and it's called intentional living.
Ooh.
And so when me and Chelsea are talking, and we can ramble, trust me,
We do.
And we do. There are times where we start pausing, and I hate it because I'm like, I know I should be doing it, but Chelsea normally introduced. She's like, Britnie, what are we talking about? And I'm like, we ain't talking. And I'm like, we're not going anywhere with this. No, all right, let's cut this conversation short. What was our intention again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we both know that we're busy. We both know that we are trying to be intentional about the way that we live and the way that we speak and the way that our fruit shows on our tree and the way that we honor God. And so when we are talking, when we are doing the things that we do on a daily basis, we have to look in that mirror and go, let's self-reflect and see if this is actually intentional. Where are we going with this? Because I think God wants us to do that, right?
That's right. Well, yeah, it does. We talk about acknowledging God in all of our ways, and we want to acknowledge God in all of our ways. It's never ill intent to even skimp out. Like, even if it's like, oh God, I haven't been in my word, please forgive me. But you also have to give yourself grace when it comes to the things of you, whatever that looks like for you. And that's why I don't want to just like stay naming examples, because this conversation can get long and we want to be mindful of people's time.
That's true. So we actually are going to keep this podcast short because it is about time and we're going to be mindful of your time. So with that being said, we're going to get into our sound mind moment here, and we give you a Bible verse with that. The Bible verse that I love is Ephesians 5:15 through 16, and I took this out of the English Standard Version. But it says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time because the days are evil.
Amen. I don't have anything really to add aside from, I just think it's so good that God even knows and gives us instructions. Okay, because even God knows, like, as time winds down, right, people gonna be out here being evil.
That's true.
Okay, the hearts of many are gonna grow
we
cold.
can be evil ourselves with our intentions.
Yes, and he's if we are allowing our time to get away from us, or even allowing our minds to get away from us, imagine the evil that you can do, because the days are evil with them.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And when you don't carefully walk uprightly and you're not being wise with your imagine how much times you've heard, it was the right time but the wrong place, or vice versa, and people was locked up in jail because literally they were accessories to crimes.
That's true. That's true.
It's crazy, because imagine had they been somewhere else.
I like how the Bible verse says making the best use of the time. Did you notice that it didn't actually say of your time? Yeah. Like it said the time. We all have 24 hours. There are things that we normally do on a daily basis as living human beings in that 24-hour time, like we discussed, that takes up that time. So the time that we have left, what is the best use of it?
That's right. That's right. And again, what are the people gonna say when you close them eyes eternally, right? And they say, well, Britnie was this and that. But, okay. No, I want the people to be, wow, that was a big one, a big loss. But you have to make good use of your time at the end of the day. We don't want anyone taking away from this podcast that, oh, wow, I got to go find me something to do between the hours. That's not it.
No.
But just be reflective, be mindful, because I think a lot of times it's easy for us to get caught up in, it's easy for all of us, like I said, to be caught up and sit around, watch our TV, sit around and do things that aren't really necessarily the most productive, or we set out for maybe a specific goal on a certain day and we haven't gotten any of our tasks done because we're so busy doing something else.
And keep in mind, you can be busy doing evil. That's what the Bible verse says. Because there's lots of busyness doing evil, and people are busy. So we didn't say just like Chelsea said, we didn't say just go out here and just be doing anything. Just say I'm busy and I don't have time, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
Right.
Sometimes the Bible does call us to sit still.
Sit down.
And stillness can be everything.
Everything.
It can be adding value. Stillness means taking the time to listen to God. I'm taking the time to reflect. Is it actually valuable that I'm using my time for? Am I using it just for me? Or is that value going out to my community and others? But whether you feel it or not, you are a valued person, which means the time that you have is a value.
Is a value. And I would think that everybody walking this earth has a goal of some sort.
That's true.
Sort.
That's very true.
Rather, it doesn't matter what it is. So,
and you're being intentional about that goal, because we have a goal. We just may not be intentional about it.
We want to be intentional. An intentional goal. What'd you say? Intentional living.
Yes.
And I love intentional living because B and I participate and actively, intentionally live, even here at Beautiful in Its Time podcast, because we don't want anything that we say to go over our heads, even because we're human too.
Yes.
It's some days we get in this studio, in this office, and we're like, what are we doing?
And how much time has passed while we've been here.
Right. And I think that's probably what ticked this the hell. Anyway, we got to let the people go. Okay, y'all, we'll see you on the next one. Again, this is Chelsea Lyles and
Britnie Thompson.
And we hope to see you guys on our Facebook, Instagram, and please give us a review on how do you guys like the show, and we would be glad to respond to you guys if you guys want to interact. And stay tuned. I think we might go live soon.
And take the time to reach out to us on Facebook, please.
B says she's lonely. She wants the people to come.
I do. I want to see y'all beautiful faces.
Yes. Right. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Bye.
Bye.